meeting to order. All right, and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, clerk, call roll please.
Vidae,
Here.
Bozak,
Here.
Crouch,
Here.
Scarberry,
Here.
Mayor Lansford.
Councilman Vidae, I haven't had a chance to talk to the city attorney about this, but Mayor Lansford, who's ill this evening, has oftentimes asked you to serve as his stand-in, but this is a regular city council meeting, and I think it would probably be in order for there to be a motion naming you as acting mayor just for this meeting.
So moved.
And then I need a second.
Second.
All right, anything further with that? Pardon me? So that, do we need to do anything else with that?
Call roll.
All right, so we need to call the roll again.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
You're not calling the roll, you're calling for votes of
Yeah.
yea and nay on the motion.
All right, clerk, call the roll.
Vidae,
Aye.
Bozak,
Aye.
Crouch,
Aye.
Scarberry.
There are no changes to the order of the agenda.
There is no formal council recognition tonight. So at this time, I will request public comment. If you'd like to address the council, please go to the podium and state your name and address, and then you'll have 3 minutes. All right, since there's none, I will go to new business. Item 1.
Jeremy, would you make the staff presentation on item 1, please?
Thank you. Item 1 is in conjunction with the police chief. We took a look at filing a request from Kimes School and Illinois Central School Bus about establishing a no parking zone at the intersection of 5th Avenue, South 5th Avenue, and Reading Street. Basically a distance of 65 feet west along Reading and 50 feet north along 5th. On a couple of occasions, there's been cars parked in that area, and that's the bus route now with the new realigned attendance centers over at Kimes. They take 5th Street to Main Street in and out. So we've taken a look at it. We think for the safety of the traveling public and the school buses, it would be best to establish that no parking zone in that area.
At this time, I'd like to request a motion and second to adopt and approve the ordinance designating a no parking zone at the intersection of South 5th Avenue and Reading Street.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, is there any discussion?
I have a little bit. I was by there yesterday, and on the south side of the street near that corner, there were cars parked from the school. I think it was probably teachers parked past their drive-out, which effectively closes that thing down again. So, maybe we need to look at both sides. The street is very narrow in that area.
I've had discussions with the principal over there as well as the school district about how we're going to handle the parking and the traffic in general moving forward now that they have added more students over there. I was out there and I assume because of the snow is why they're out on the street. When I was out there earlier in the fall, the teachers, they are teachers and they were parking off the road, so it wasn't such an issue, but with the snow they probably can't get off on that berm.
I'm down towards the corner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they basically by their
It's
soccer,
a
by their soccer
single lane
field.
road, yeah, right now. Yeah. All right.
And as Jeremy mentioned, this whole situation is occasioned by the increased traffic because it's an attendance center now rather than just any
It's
of
much better than it used to be.
And so,
Traffic pattern now.
but it creates some issues about parking, both for parent vehicles as well as for buses, and we're going to meet with the school district and talk about some ways to make that a little bit better later in the year.
There is one change to the ordinance as written, and it's just the date on here where it says the regular meeting was held on. It says September instead of January, so we just need to correct that as we pass it.
Is that a change in
Make-
the ordinance?
Yes.
Because it's in the whereas section.
No, it's in the end of the ordinance on the adoption.
Okay.
So it's just a technical correction.
So with the permission of the person making the motion and second, it would be with that.
Do we need to make a motion and second for that, to change it?
No.
No, as long as the person making the motion and the second agree to the amendment, it can pass as amended.
So clerk, call the roll, please.
Vidae,
Aye.
Bozak,
Aye.
Crouch,
Aye.
Scarberry.
Aye.
Okay, item 2, ordinance abating the tax levy for the year 2017 to pay the principal and interest on $1,325,000 general obligation bonds, Series 2017B of the City of Streator, LaSalle, and Livingston Counties. Like a motion and a second to adopt and approve.
With your permission, I'd like to make a report on, really, item 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are all the same item, really. And so, but they are separate ordinances, which you should properly read the title of as you have done and separately vote on each one of them. But basically, the reason that we are doing this is the alternative revenue bond approach for bonds that have been issued in the past, as long ago as 2006, and more recently, this is the cheapest interest rate and the cheapest issue costs that we can get. That's a good thing, because it means that our carrying costs and issue costs are less to the taxpayers of Streator. But there's this process, because it's pledging the full faith and credit of the city, it automatically goes on the tax bill unless you act to abate it. And you can act to abate it if you have identified in the official statement in the bond ordinance what the alternative revenue source is. When we've done all of that as a part of your adoption and taking delivery on these bonds. But this is something, as long as these bonds are outstanding, even in partial form, you're going to have to do this every year, otherwise it goes on the tax levy. So I spelled all that out in detail in the cover memo, so it doesn't need to be repeated 5 times. But that's the reason for it. So if there's any discussion about it, we should have that down, then you can just call them and vote on it. Any other questions about?
Is there any discussion on items 2 through
6.
6? Okay, in that case, I will have clerk call roll, please.
Okay, we need a motion and a second.
So moved. Second.
Vidae,
Aye.
Bozak,
Aye.
Crouch,
Aye.
Scarberry.
Aye.
Right. Item 3, I'd like to request a motion and second to adopt and approve the ordinance to abate the tax levy for the 2017 to pay the principal and interest on $3.2 million general obligation bond series 2015.
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, call the roll, please.
Vidae,
Aye.
Bozak,
Aye.
Crouch,
Aye.
Scarberry.
Aye.
Item 4, I'd like to request a motion and second to adopt and approve the ordinance to abate the tax levy for the 2017 to pay the principal of an interest on 1.325 million general obligation bonds series.
No, we're at item 4, I'm sorry.
Oh, mine is,
Should be the one that's 2.3.
that's what my item 4 says.
2.3.
Should be 2.34 million. Series
Okay.
216B.
All right. Got that. So I will request a motion and second to adopt and approve the ordinance to abate tax levy for 2017 to pay the principal and interest on 2.34 million general obligation bonds, alternate revenue source, Series 2016B of the City of Streator, LaSalle, and Livingston Counties, Illinois.
So moved.
Second.
Clerk call roll, please.
Vidae,
Aye.
Bozak,
Aye.
Crouch,
Aye.
Scarberry.
Aye.
Item 5, ordinance, or I'd like to request a motion and second to adopt and approve the ordinance to abate the tax levy for 2017 to pay the principal and interest on 1.485 million general obligation bonds, alternate revenue source, Series 2017A.
So moved.
Second.
Clerk call the roll, please.
Vidae,
Aye.
Bozak,
Aye.
Crouch,
Aye.
Scarberry.
Aye.
Item 6, I'd like to request a motion and second to adopt and approve the ordinance to abate the tax levied for 2017 to pay the principal and interest on 585,000 general obligation bonds, alternate revenue source, Series 2017C.
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, call the roll, please.
Vidae,
Aye.
Bozak,
Aye.
Crouch,
Aye.
Scarborough.
Aye.
Okay, Item 7,
Chairman.
Thank you. Item 7 is a resolution authorizing the signature by the mayor of loan documents for the Center Street area sewer project. As you remember in all of our sewer planning, that is to install a new sanitary sewer line down Center Street from 12th Street up to 9th Street, as well as storm sewers on the radiating streets of 12th, 11th, 10th, and 9th. So ultimately, it will help us to eliminate one of our combined sewer overflows at the end of Northwest Avenue and go towards decreasing the chance for facing backups in that area.
This is not a contract award, this is just amending our loan documents so that we can, I mean, this project has not been,
It hasn't been awarded, or all this authorizes is the signature of the loan application to Illinois EPA for low-interest loan funding. So there'll be the application will go in, there'll be a lot of resolutions and ordinances to come next to actually approve it. This authorizes no debt, this just allows us to file the loan application. Right now, the interest rate, I believe, is 1.87%.
EPA has to approve of any project that we're using low-interest loan funds specifically to that project. So this is amending those documents.
At this time, I'd like to request a motion and second to approve and authorize a representative to sign loan documents in connection with an application for a loan from the Water Pollution Control Revolving Fund and resolution of intent regarding National Flood Insurance Center Street Area Sewer Project.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion?
I'll just mention that the resolution of intent is also stating that when the project is complete, we will carry flood insurance, which we do.
Clerk, call the roll, please.
Vidae,
Aye.
Bozak,
Aye.
Crouch,
Aye.
Scarborough.
Aye.
We'll go to item 8.
Items 8 and 9 are really the same item. These, as are all recommendations that are to you from the Planning Commission, you vote to receive and file before actually acting on the item. And it's just the same. It's a facade grant program. This is the former Thrifty Drug there between the Revlon place and Wells Fargo building. And he's agreed to do the upper part and then do the lower part at a later stage. So this is just facade improvements on the second story portion of that double building.
At this time, I'd like to request a motion and second to place on file Plan Commission recommendation 2018-01 recommending approval of a facade grant in the amount of $15,000 to Doug and Sherlyn Beckman, owners of 304-306 East Main Street.
So
Second.
Is there any discussion? Okay, clerk, call the roll, please.
Vidae,
Aye.
Bozak,
aye.
Crouch,
Aye.
Scarborough.
Aye.
Item 9 is, well, now that we've placed on file, we'll be recommending approval and granting award of the facade grant. So I'd like to request a motion and second to approve a grant award of a facade grant to Doug and Sherlyn Beckman.
I think they already have been resolutions in the past.
I think we've done both ways. I think a resolution would be sufficient, so if you want to convert it to a resolution, I would decline.
I believe, this is my oversight, I apologize, that when you have approved these facade grants in the past, I believe it's by council resolution. This doesn't require an ordinance, changing the laws of the city for this. So, with your permission. But my request is that you just amend the motion to reflect that it's a resolution rather than an ordinance.
I'll make a motion
Oh,
to change.
so I'll request a motion to amend this to a resolution
Again,
recommending
if the-
approval.
If the motion and second agree, you don't have to vote on the amendment.
Right.
Right.
So who made the initial motion?
Oh, that was to place on file.
Okay, so we don't
Which
even
one you
have,
talking
We don't have one yet.
motion.
No, we have not, yeah.
Right.
My first day as mayor is very confused.
No, you're doing great.
Yep, you're fine.
We threw a lot at you.
Okay, so I will request a motion and second to approve a grant award amended, so that this is a resolution, not an ordinance, for a facade grant to Doug and Sherlyn Beckman, owners 304, 306 East Main Street, in the amount of $15,000.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, clerk, call the roll, please.
Vidae,
Aye.
Bozak,
Aye.
Crouch,
Aye.
Scarberry,
Aye.
Item 10,
Jeremy?
Thank you. Item 10 is a resolution awarding a contract to deconstruction for the Barlow Addition Sewer Project. This goes to install sanitary sewer to the 62 homes that were annexed earlier in 2017, as well as storm sewers to service the Barlow Addition. The project is being funded partially by a community development block grant through DCO, $450,000. So deconstruction was the low responsible bidder, and after review of their submitted bid, recommending award for work to start in the spring.
Did we use it before?
They were the contractor that did the Kent Street project,
Oh.
and they've done other projects here as well, but that's the big one.
at this time, I'd like to request a motion and second to approve and award a construction contract to Deconstruction Coal City, Illinois for the City of Streetor's recently annexed Barlow Addition Sewer Project.
So moved.
It's my pleasure to second it. Thank you.
Any discussion? Clerk, call the roll, please.
Vidae,
Aye.
Bozak,
Aye.
Crouch,
Aye.
Scarberry.
Aye.
Jeremy, do they have even a tentative time that they expect to begin? I know it's weather dependent, but.
They said they wanted to start as soon as the weather was fit, but I'm going to, now that there's been an award, I will talk to them and firm it up, but it should be early spring.
And Jeremy and I are going to be at a meeting with the neighbors, explaining to them now that we have a ward, how we're going to disrupt their lives this spring and summer, and how it's going to be, everything from how to do hookups and temporary access and all the other issues that will be involved, because in some cases, it's going to be pretty deep digs.
Move on to item 11.
Item 11 is an updated version of a resolution that you acted on once before to get us into the Economic Development Administration's grant program for incubator capital projects. They have a grant program to help incubators. They don't fund operating costs, but they do fund capital improvements. And so the first step that EDA requires is that there be a feasibility study done. If the feasibility study comes back with good enough numbers, then we can move immediately into the capital side. But we weren't able to get to first base last time because they objected to the fact that we had a for-profit company involved in the direct lease with the city. So we've corrected that problem when the lease came up after its 2-year renewal. We've now had possession of the building for more than 2 years. That anniversary was in August, so we made that correction. We can start the process over again, and this resolution starts us down that road.
At this time, I'd like to request a motion and second to approve and authorize the support and commitment of funds to submit an Economic Development Administration EDA grant for incubator funding.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Clerk, call the roll, please.
Vidae,
Aye.
Bozak,
Aye.
Crouch,
Aye.
Scarberry.
Aye.
All right, item 12.
The Vermilion Valley 911 has 9 members on it in accordance with the intergovernmental agreement creating that joint authority. 3 of them come up every year for reappointment and for 3-year terms. The city of Streator has 2 representatives on the Vermilion Valley 911 board. I serve on it, as does Deputy Chief Bob Turner. I pulled the short straw, and so my term is up. And so the mayor has asked that you approve his reappointment of me to the Vermillion Valley 911 Board of Directors for a new 3-year term.
At this time, I'd like to request a motion and second to approve the appointment of Scott Brighton to the Vermillion Valley 911 Board of Directors.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, call the roll, please.
Vidae,
Aye.
Bozak,
Aye.
Crouch,
Aye.
Scarberry,
Aye.
Item 13, consent agenda. Just to note, Scarberry will be abstaining from section B, Crouch abstaining from section C. It's also amended totals to 966,072,34.
3 items, a memo from Julie.
3 items
Your
were-
boxes, right?
Added to the fund warrant list. Okay, at this time, I'd like to request a motion and second to approve the consent agenda with Scarberry abstaining from section B and Crouch abstaining from section C.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, call the roll, please.
Vidae,
Aye.
Bozak,
Aye.
Crouch,
Aye.
Scarberry.
Aye.
City official comments? Do you have anything?
Yeah, there's a couple things buried in this agenda. It was pretty boring, I suppose, for most of the audience listening to all this. But how many facade grants have we done the last few years here?
I think we have done somewhere between 18 and 21. The exact number eludes me, but I have to go look, so I know it's right in there. I want to say 19.
And that's good. It's helped downtown a lot, I think. And if we keep going with it, things will turn around. And the other thing is the incubator. I think we have probably one of the best incubators going in the state of Illinois. I'm not sure about that. I don't have any numbers, but it's not losing money. That's something that most can't do. They're always very hard to run, big area, a lot of expenses. And trying to keep it above water is very hard. I have to commend the board that's running that for doing an excellent job with it.
Brian?
Just thank you everyone for coming.
At this time, I'd like to request a motion and second to adjourn the meeting. Right, Clerk, call the roll, please.
Vidae,
Aye.
Bozak,
Aye.
Crouch,
Aye.
Scarberry.
Aye.
Get the last one.
And thank you for putting up with me for this one.